see that whoever could come after and during lunch is already here, so we might as well start. I think 3 years ago, the ultimate buzzword of the industry was social trading. Everybody did social trading. Everybody was social trading. Nowadays, everybody, the same people, are fintech and harnessing the power of AI for their traders. We are here with this respected panel of experts to provide insight into what is already there and what is yet to come in AI and automation, and how automation can drive costs into a safer realm. Stephen Hatzakis, Global Head of Research at forexbrokers.com and an avid reader and writer of fintech and AI in general, will lead us through this maze. Thank you, Stephen. Enjoy the panel.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is going to be an exciting panel. As Jonathan said, AI has been a buzzword, but it's gaining a lot of attention, on the Twitter feed, on the social universe. Every other article you see talks about AI. But I'd like to start this panel by, differentiating between what AI is and what it isn't, because a lot of brokers, throw around the AI buzzword, but it's really just automation that they might be using. Meanwhile, other firms are using AI genuinely. So our distinguished panelists here are going to elaborate on this, and we'll start with that. Everyone could just briefly introduce themselves. I'll start from this side, and we'll go that way.
Jonathan Frankenstein. Yes, that's Frankenstein, guys. This really is. I'm a director at O Systems, and actually we have now a new platform called OSysFX.
Hello, my name is Gil Ayal. I'm president and co-founder of Tradency. We are a pure technology provider, and our products are the Mirror Trader and the Robox trading platform.
Hi, my name is Gilad Gatz. I'm a co-founder at TipRanks. TipRanks is a category leader in providing research tools that are based on big financial data.
Hi, my name is Oded Shefer. I'm the CEO of C-Pattern. We provide a floor management automation solution for Forex brokers.
Hi, my name is Guy Dvir. I'm a co-founder of Compeak. We provide a cost center automation platforms that enable users to use automation and AI to optimize their actual and entire sales flow.
My name is Andrew Ralich. I am the CEO and co-founder of 10 Financial Systems. 10 has been in the FX and OTC space for a little over 8 years now, providing bridging, aggregation, risk, and order management solutions for retail brokers and prime brokers.
Thank you, everyone. So we're going to get started, again, on the topic of AI being a buzzword and distinguishing between what AI is versus what automation is. And it's important to note that automation is just as important as AI. They kind of go hand in hand. Without automation, we wouldn't have AI. So the first question, I'll start here with Jonathan next to me, is, where's the line drawn between fancy automation and actual AI? And how do you see this integrated when it comes to brokerages in our industry?
Well, I think there's definitely a difference between them. It is connected, but today when we look at automation, it's more about, the way I see it, like a lot of in-app marketing that we use for like automated emails, SMS, simple stuff that we have, and also, of course, automated trading that we have here. And when I look at AI, I look more about the deep learning, the big machine data, something you get a lot in its algorithms that's working and learning and training and building something that changes and evolves as much as you have more information, you get more data. And this is something that can affect and help with all the call centers and the brokerages at the end.
Okay, and where do you see AI, if we put automation aside for a moment, where do you see AI on the CRM side? Because I think that's an important topic within what brokers are doing to automate their processes.
Definitely, I think that's one of the most important things. And from our point of view, what we're trying to push is to a situation where on your CRM, again, it's coming to the leads, to the marketing, from our AI that we have and from all the learning that we do, we will be able and capable to give the salesperson the highest chances of leads when it comes to conversion. This is something that, of course, is going to help you to get a higher conversion. higher ROI at the end, and also cut some of your sales person.
Right, optimize basically.
Exactly, it's all about optimization.
Gil, what are your thoughts on the difference between automation and AI and how that integrates into businesses now?
Yeah, coming from theoretical computer science, the differentiation between automation and artificial intelligence is quite clear. When machines were built, there are a set of functions that machines are doing better than human beings, all kind of simple calculations, memory, doing it repeatedly, and in that, handling those tasks is to automate, automating simple, better machine doing. Artificial intelligence is a brave trial of computers to try and do it as much as possible, or even better, hopefully one day, cognitive human tasks. Human can talk with each other, imagine things, create music. Lots of cognitive human being tasks that now machines are trying to imitate and to do partially as much as possible.
And where do you see AI integrated the most in your business, or automation?
Well, our product was initially based on those two words, automation and artificial intelligence. The first offering of our product was to automate trading. The technology we built was designed in order for the retail trader to enjoy the same benefits that high net worth or institutional traders using servers that working 24/7 and execute in an optimal way trading strategies. So what our mission was initially, more than 10 years ago, was to try and bring retailers the same capability to implement and to trade even while they work, sleep, eat, do other things, and the servers, our servers, are continuously monitoring the market, monitoring the strategies, and then automatically execute on behalf of the user. The artificial intelligence part used to be part of the strategy development itself, where technical trading strategies like pattern recognition and other elements were using or trying to use some kind of neural or human thinking in order to try and bring new strategies. Today, AI evolved into decision-making, selecting strategies and defining portfolio leverage and other elements that typically the user was left to do by himself.
Okay, great. We're going to come back to the AI and automated trading. I think that's an important topic, and I just want to jump to Andrew on where do you see automation having been the most effective in the industry, whether it's on risk management or integration, but just generally speaking, where have you seen automation and AI be the most effective?
I think that's a great question, and the simple answer is that I wouldn't be here today or wouldn't be in this industry if it wasn't for automation. Automation is the basis and nature of the product that we develop. A bridging solution, a risk management solution. You don't see any brokers out there today running a pure bucket type risk management strategy. There's some component, the industry has evolved to the point where you're going to have something that is going to automate what was traditionally a human practice. The dealer calling and hedging a risk, the dealer placing a hedge trade to a liquidity provider. So automation has been day one. It's the reason we're here. Where I think automation has grown is very similar to what Gil mentioned, is transitioning from telling the machine what to do. This client is A book, this client is B book. What we're seeing in our client base, what we're enabling our clients to be able to do, and our partners, is reactively make these decisions within the technology itself. So I draw the line of automation, advanced automation, getting into AI between alerting and action. If the system is able to automate the hedging of a trader's risk, very simple automation. If the system is able to say, hey, this client just made X amount of profit against you over the last 5 minutes. It's identified a scalper. That's more advanced form of automation The innovation that we're seeing today, the transition and the change is brokers looking for our systems to be able to say, hey, this client just made this amount of money for you, and I've switched him from the A to B book, or B to A book. I've moved them. I've adjusted your risk management strategy dynamically as the result of a decision that's been made within the technology. And that change from reporting, hey, there's a problem, to an action is the biggest transition that we're seeing across our clients today.
Interesting. And have you seen AI yet, show up in that, or is it just advanced automation and layers of, complexity? But has it yet reached the point where it's machine learning and, the AI is improving on its own based on experience and performance?
It's a difficult question. I again agree with Gil that at a theoretical level, AI implies machine learning. It implies an actual level of intelligence. I'm not sure if this industry, or even looking at broader fintech, the equities industry, you don't have many situations where the computer is, or the risk management system is saying, not that I've identified a scalper or an arbitrage trader, but that I've identified a new pattern of trading that I've now characterized as something, and I'm going to choose to move them from a book to book. That's, I'm sure, somewhere where we'd love to get as an industry and kind of as a society in general someday. I think right now there's still a lot of progress to be made on that leap from reporting human action to reaction. And we're not necessarily at a point yet where we need the risk management systems making the decision of what risk is, but more acting on behalf of the broker.
Okay. And so moving into solving challenges, and if you'd like to elaborate on what we just discussed, Oded, I'd like to pass on to you. What are some of the strategies you're seeing firms use to automate, whether it's machine learning, AI, just simple automation, advanced automation? What are some of the strategies you've seen?
Just before that, I wanted to give an example from the world of fighting terrorism on the distinction between automation and AI. And then maybe I can explain
Please.
about what we see brokers are doing. In airports, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years ago, if you wanted to have security, you would have to have policemen, security officers on the ground patrolling, looking for suspicious movements. This was like manual, completely human-dependent work. And from then on, they started to do automation, which means putting cameras and having only one person in a control room monitoring the audience. So I think this is automation, removing the human foot on the ground and having just cameras who have no wisdom at all, but you can have only one person replacing dozens of security officers. This is what I think could be automation. And AI is what we see today, very sophisticated computer softwares who are just monitoring the crowds, looking for faces who are recognized as suspicious and alerting about them. So I think you can see what manual work is, what automation is, and what AI is.
No, thank you. I think now you've solidified to the audience that everybody understands the difference between what automation is, what AI is, and now we'd love to hear places where we're seeing this in the industry. And anybody feel free to answer this in addition to your comments.
I think from what I see is that you have the task of a particular employee in a back office at a brokerage. Automation is where you start to take specific procedures, specific routines and work processes that are gradually taking over. Gradually. If there's something that was done manually over the phone, you can see it gradually becoming automated, like shooting emails or text messages, which is very simple. And it moves all the way to doing very sophisticated actions, like identifying the trader and adapting the right message at the right time, so with the right action for him.
And you would consider this advanced automation, just kind of like marketing rules or conditions that once these conditions are met, that triggers the text message.
I think wherever there is wisdom in the system, where it identifies things in a deeper level that a human cannot do in a simple way, then I think this is the highest advanced form.
So I think you're paralleling sort of what Andrew's saying on that side of the industry, that we're not there yet in terms of using AI for these processes, but they're still highly automated.
Yes, I think it's a progress. It's a process. It's taking place. And I think automation and AI, they are processes. They take time for them to evolve. It's an evolution for organizations.
Excellent. So my next point is, oh, please.
If I can add to that, we operate in the equities markets and CFDs, and we're seeing a big migration towards automation. If before you had, for example, advisors that would call the customer and say, you should buy these particular stocks, now we're seeing transition to robo-advisors where this is being managed automatically. We're seeing hedge funds move from traditional ways of research into quant and relying on big data and trading signals. We're seeing portfolios being generated automatically from wisdom of the crowds, and a lot of automation is taking place in the equities and the CFDs markets. Specifically at TipRanks, we analyze information automatically, so we use a lot of automation. There was some information that we found is harder for us to analyze without using machine learning. For example, we analyze every financial article that is published in a financial publication. We look at specifically analyst recommendations. So we're looking at when analysts recommend to buy or to sell a particular stocks. When we did this analysis, we used a lot of automation. And then we wanted to expand and look at what individuals are saying. Financial bloggers that write on blogs and say which stocks you should buy, which stocks you should sell. When we tackled this challenge, we found that conventional means of automation were not enough, and we had to, and because basically what people write is so unstructured and so hard to quantify and to model, we moved to machine learning in order to basically train a machine to understand when someone is writing about a particular equity, a particular stock, do they foresee the stock going up or do they foresee the stock going down? And that's how we're able to acquire a lot of the information, which we then provide as research tools to individual investors.
So this is a good segue into the next topic, and it sounds like, so you're using machine learning to analyze the social feeds because there's so much data there, and if some headline or keyword pops up, you're going to start researching that particular keyword to find the story and the source, etc. And so having said that, do you agree that that's a synopsis of what you just explained?
So basically what we do with machine learning, we look at at a set of paragraphs and articles, and we understand from that what is the intention of the author.
Okay.
Is the author...
Does the system improve based on performance? Because I think the definition of machine learning is when a program will improve based on experience when you measure its performance.
You actually adapt in real time, not necessarily taking some reactive action, rather proactive action.
Okay.
So the process that we have in order to, as you say, to improve the machine learning, you have to constantly give it feedback. So the process that we created, basically when we analyze these recommendations made by financial bloggers, the machine is able to forecast what is the intention of the blogger. And it does that with a level of accuracy. So it would say, for example, this is a bullish recommendation and I'm 100% sure. And this is a bullish recommendation, but I'm only 75% sure. So what we do, we take those that are not 100%, that are not as confident, and we have someone manually go over them.
Okay.
And by adding this feedback, we're able to constantly improve the accuracy of the detection of the machine.
Like the Facebook new hires that are checking the fake news to make sure, because I'm sure all the social media companies like Facebook and Twitter are using machine learning and that type
I think
of
that's a great
content.
example, yeah.
So I would like to pass the next point to Guy with regards to where can AI or automation have the biggest benefit for brokers, for the industry right now? Where is it lacking that firms need to get on the AI or automation bandwagon even more?
Again, I think it's a matter of the simple answer and the more complex answer. On the automation side, we see today the need for automating processes, automating some sort of sales flow and sales funnel. Now, we see today from case studies that we've actually experienced that today, out of a shift, we come from the cost center standpoint and an operational aspect. We see that out of a shift of about 8 or 9 hours, the agent actually speaks on the phone and tries to deliver his sales pitch around 2.5 hours, and the rest of the time he just handles administrative tasks, right? He just inputs the feedback and tries to select a lead and tries to dial to that lead. And what we do automatically is actually take the entire database and automate that entire process and eventually just deliver a live customer or a live prospect to the actual agent. So we've actually been able to double the talk time of each agent and maximize the productivity of the manpower at this specific call center or desk or site location.
That's a great explanation, because I think everybody could relate that, no matter what your role is, you're probably involved in administrative, burdensome tasks that if, these small tasks that you do every day that are part of your bigger job become automated, it could make all our lives easier. So,
and it's not just productivity, it's also the actual decision making, because we do know today that even your most sought after sales agent sometimes has some lapses in judgment. Sometimes they want to call a specific lead until like 5 times a day until I'm a broker, I'm going to get him to close the deal. But sometimes the operation does not want the actual agents to call that specific lead because it's probable that the VP of sales or the head of sales will have some more knowledge as to how they want to market their services to specific types of clients, right? So once you automate a process, you completely negate the need for agent judgment, thus minimizing the risk for human error.
Now, do you think AI is there? I don't know if you'd like to add to
I
that.
want to add, first of all, I agree with him about the human error. That's one of the most important things. And when it comes, for example, take KYC, okay? If we look at automation, it was now automate the documents into the system. Now we have third-party service providers that not only you upload it, but they check it on the spot. And then in a matter of seconds, you know if the documents, everything is valid or not. And both we, not us, but the brokers that we work with, get a response about it. Also, the trader gets a response. So again, we save time, less people, and we take out the human error out of it. Now, when it comes to AI, what I look more from, again, let's say the call center side, which is very important, I think you talked about it before also, is the prediction. Because then we take this big machine learning, all this data, and we take it from the automation, all the funnels that we have, marketing funnels, and this machine learns it. And then it gives the call center, the salespersons, all the leads from top to bottom according to percentage. Now, again, you don't have the 100% like you said. You can have 60, 70, but this is something it's learning as we have more data. The more data we have, the more accurate we can be at the end.
And I'll just touch on what Johnson just said. I think, not to rain on anyone's parade, I think AI today is not really there yet, meaning AI cannot live without automation. It cannot get the sample size of data to actually derive any sort of actions without the automation. So I think we're getting there, but right now, we usually just let the broker implement their entire logic into the system to teach the system. But AI, like we actually discussed with Andrew at the beginning of the panel, once we have proactive decisions based on the data that we collate, then we'll be there.
Add machine learning maybe at that point. So
Exactly.
it's becoming
It's a
highly,
process.
But
highly automated.
it's not there yet. We're advanced automation. We're adding layers to the equation, but we're not there yet.
Andrew, I'd like to ask, with regards to, where automation could have its biggest impact, and I'm talking about even more automation because you've explained already that automation is already there, we already have it, but where can, I guess, AI start to appear, on your side of the industry, working on integration, risk management, for example. I think that's a topic that's maybe worth touching on in terms of automated risk management. I mean, risk management is largely automated at most, desks where, you don't have a dealer on the phone. But is there room for AI there yet? Has it appeared?
It hasn't quite yet, and even a lot of the advanced automation that we're talking about hasn't appeared quite yet. And interestingly enough, this is, I'm here to announce this is not what we're working on at 1.0. The process of learning, building intelligence and automation into the back-end risk management of a brokerage, I see as not necessarily the role of the aggregation or order and risk management engine that exists from providers like 1.0. If you were to look at a company like a Tesla car, I think this is a gold standard right now in terms of automation. We know that they can stop themselves when something goes in front of it. We know that it can stay in a lane as it drives around. But the system that's analyzing the dots on the road or doing a radar calculation of the distance in front of the car does not exist within the block of the engine. It doesn't exist within the braking system. It's a separate, intelligent process that's reading data in and interacting with other critical components. I see 1.0 as a critical component of brokerage infrastructure that will exist and continue to perpetuate on. The investments that we're making is in APIs, in tool sets, in providing the ability for the broker to say, hit the brakes, move this client from A to B book, increase my spread, react to this situation. But our job is to route trades and quotes in microseconds, down to nanoseconds even now. And making a machine learning or neural network within that framework just isn't feasible. You don't want to be doing this analysis within the core of your platform. So what we're seeing is the more we invest in APIs, the more we invest in exposing our engine in ways that separate systems. We've partnered with a company called Tapas recently over the past few years who's driven a lot of the change in our approach to making decisions intelligently, artificially intelligently, building in automation, but doing so separate from the real-time critical components that we deliver.
What about, traders, proprietary trading shops that are using genetic programming or neural networks to, whether it's price discovery in FX or to trade, to make a market or to manage risk? Is that kind of the secret sauce nobody's sharing and nobody wants to, license out there? Is that a significant, changer, something that could be a game changer, for the industry? Now we have best execution coming up with MiFID II. Do you think AI is going to have a role in, driving price discovery or risk management?
I think the responsibility of technology vendors, platforms, many of us up here, is not necessarily coming up with the solution, the killer app, the genetic algorithm that exists in real time. The big differentiation I make is before we have the machine sitting there and making a decision on real-time trading activity, how can we learn from the past? And the responsibility and something we invest a lot in as well is the data set. How much of this information are we sharing? The future innovations that will happen in computing, in parallel processing, that will facilitate this type of real-time artificial intelligence and transactional analysis will be trained and groomed around a data set that we need to be producing today. So in addition to creating APIs and making that investment, we're saving the data, we're storing the data, and even in a Citadel, even in the higher end of the non-bank liquidity provision that exists at the top tier of the kind of hierarchy of liquidity dissemination, there's genetic algorithms, there's certainly research. Most of it is being done on historical data and then hard-coded in and then reacted to situationally. I doubt
models.
anybody runs a real-time reactive genetic algorithm, even in pricing now.
Excellent. So we've heard a lot of different sides. Odette, I'd like to ask you, where do you think firms are lacking on the automation side? Where is there room for improvement, whether it's AI or just more levels of complexity in terms of automation?
I think you need to look at the traders and their needs, not only on technology. I think traders, when they invest money, they need to have trust with the broker. They need to have a human touch. I think if I was a trader, and I'm not, if I would invest $5,000 at a broker and there's a problem, I would like to have a human person speaking to me as opposed to an automated message. As smart as it could be, I would like to have someone speaking to me. So I think you need to look at the traders.
You're not a millennial anymore, right? Not to make you sound old. Right?
No, I'm not. I'm an 80s person. So you need to look at the traders and their needs, not only on the technology. So I think there is a big spectrum of negotiation between the broker and the clients that I think it will be very hard to substitute with AI. But I think AI and automation could cover maybe 50, 60, or 70% of things that, or of interactions that could be done between the broker and the clients. I think this is something that
Could you elaborate on that a little more in terms of,
There's a lot of
you said 60 to 70%
Yeah.
improvement?
not improvement, but coverage of the
Okay.
interaction between brokers and clients and traders. Traders, they need to do all sorts of actions. They have problems, they need support. There are a lot of contact points between the trader and the broker on a daily basis.
So you mean the engagement to like,
The engagement.
whether it's through the user interface of the platform, optimizing that, or
Chat, log in, log out, depositing, withdrawals, processing, bonuses. There are a lot of touch points between the broker and every trader. And it produces a huge amount of work and a huge amount of data. And I think we can see gradually brokers covering more and more actions that could be replaced by the computer. You don't need a human to be there every single point of time. But I think still there will always be maybe 20% of the interaction that will have to be human, because you need to have this negotiation with the client that will be very difficult to replace
Can I add
by
about
the
that?
computer.
1 minute?
No, of course. Yeah, we're going to come back to that about the human element with jobs being lost to AI. That's something we'll save for
Okay,
after.
I'll keep
Please.
that. Okay, so I'll keep that for later.
Yes, yes, yes.
But what I want to say at the end, you were mentioning about that about the traders and understanding their needs, and I think this is something very important now, especially in these days when it's a buyer's market at the end. There's so much competition out there. It's all about what we can give as platforms, third-party services. What are the services that we can give them to be satisfied and happy and stay with the broker at the end? And I think with this automation, AI, and learning, and big machines, and getting this data and information, this way we're able and capable to give them what they want. For example, if we learn as a trader is with us that he likes a specific football team, okay, so now we can have a pop-up on the side giving him news about the football team. We know he likes to trade about gold. So anytime there's some breaking news about gold, we'll have something specifically for him. It's not these annoying pop-ups that just don't make sense to you. It's understanding his needs. It's about personalization at the end. I think this is very important now.
And how does that tie into social aspects of, I mean, normally when we think of social, it's a social network or media, but, these social aspects you're describing in the platform, is that a trend either you or any of you are seeing on the front end of platforms?
I do think it's a trend. I'm not talking about social trading, but more about having on the platform everything you need. If today people don't stay on the platform that much because they want to go on Bloomberg to see the news, and they want to go to see the sports, and they want to read something else.
So you're saying personalization?
Exactly, on site. And then once you have everything there, you keep him on your platform.
So I'd like to ask Gil regarding AI and moving back into trading. Algorithmic trading is popular. You have MetaTrader platforms. You have brokers that are using automated trading on their own in-house platforms, although there's only a few. How do you see that changing with, like some of your strategies on, or your firm's strategies on trade and see are automated or using AI? And how does that tie into the larger, automated trading sphere, whether it's social copy trading, whether it's, EAs on a platform or robots? How do you see that evolving from here?
I was glad to hear the initial introduction that the buzz is moving from the social to the automation and the AI, as we were kept far from the social during more than 10 years of operation, as we've seen the real value in those hard facts, automation, AI technology. And just referring to the previous talk about the position of the AI, I totally agree with the point of view from the user needs, where we need to look of what helps the user. But surprisingly, I have a slightly different conclusion, where exactly this is the point for the AI. AI, if again going to the basics, Turing test, once the machine can imitate and can talk to the user without the user able to differentiate between a machine or a really human being. So this is exactly where it's not here, it's not today, but if we talk about AI, that's the point where, as we see, humans are looking for trust. I totally agree, and human discussion and talk and psychology involved in wealth management. But if we really want to have AI, then we can replace those humans with machines that can act in a way that real human cannot differentiate between the machine and the person behind the telephone line.
Thank you. So moving to my last point, which we've saved the best for last, everybody's, well, some people are worried. There's headlines about, losing jobs to AI. Other people are saying that, there might be new jobs that are created that nobody's thinking about yet because they haven't been created yet. But, if each of you could add your closing thoughts on, the future in terms of where automation and AI is going, how that relates to jobs, and what that means for the industry.
Yes. For me, in my opinion, human are losing jobs to other humans, not to tools, not to machines, not to AI, regardless. Jobs are now flowing around the globe to places where it's most cost effective to execute the job, and cost effectiveness means either cheap labor or best tools and most efficient environment to do so. In that sense, I think community or country or company, whatever, that will be fit with the best tools, and AI is just one of those tools, will be more competitive, will get jobs, will earn more jobs. Therefore, it is in the best interest of either company or community or country to try and be competitive, developing the best tools they can, and gain jobs from other human beings that are in a less favored position.
Excellent. If we could, I think we're pressed for time a little bit, so if we could just give like a 30-second synopsis from each of you in terms of what you think AI is going in as far as our industry, foreign exchange, online trading, CFDs, multi-asset brokers, and how AI might change that and automation with jobs.
So what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of trading moving from trades from decisions made by individuals to quant, where trades are being made automatically. And we're seeing, one of the challenges that I see that AI is trying to solve is today there is such a lot of information out there that even when you have individuals that want to execute trades, they are exposed to so much information, and AI is a tool that can be used and we use in order to basically serve it to users in an actionable way so they can make decisions despite the large abundance of data, which makes decision making more complex.
Thank you.
My prediction is that we will see less jobs that are simple jobs or for simple routines. And I think account managers will gradually evolve to be more data processing jobs, monitoring data, building processes with a higher sophistication, as opposed to just the typical call center jobs.
Their roles are going to evolve. Excellent.
Exactly what Oded just said. The entire spectrum will move to analyst type jobs and more high-tech positioning, high-level sort of jobs. But I do think, not sure I completely agree with Gil on that, but jobs will be lost because the process will be a lot more automatic, will be a lot more effective and fluent. It all depends which geolocation you are at, what community are you a part of.
Sure. Excellent. So we have Jonathan and Andrew.
So I agree with most of you guys here. At the end, jobs will be lost. There's nothing to do about it. Everything's moving to automation, and it will happen. But on the other hand, we'll have more jobs, new jobs created in the industry of AI and automation. So we'll lose some here, but we'll gain some here. And at the end, for all of us here in the industry as workers, it's about making it more profitable, bottom line, guys. And this is what's going to happen with all this automation. We'll just be better. We'll have better service and better stuff to give out there.
Exactly, and I think just to touch on what you just said, as this is a B2B-oriented conference, I think we all want to save labor costs. We all want to optimize our operations. So I think we'll touch on the job losses at a later event or later time.
Andrew, do you have anything to add on?
Yeah, two quick points. From the perspective of process automation, I think the next generation is here. If you're looking at your risk management strategies, if you're looking at your platform decisions from the ground up, if you're not working with providers who are openly making their systems active via APIs, coalescing with other providers and knowing their role, then you're choosing the wrong provider. I think one theme I took from the whole panel is artificial intelligence isn't quite here yet in this space. So if you're talking to somebody who's built the artificial intelligence end-all front-end to back-end solution, you might want to look at a solution that's been around for a little longer. My second point, and this is selling nothing, and actually something that we don't talk about enough at this conference and conferences in general. There's one person or one entity, many of them globally, who have control of all of our data. And there's a lot of talk about RegTech. There's a lot of talk about MiFID reporting, EMIR reporting, ASIC reporting. These massive trade repositories are being built out of data that's coming out of brokers and sitting with the regulators who I find to be one of the least effective in using this data currently. So I hope, and unfortunately it doesn't put much money in our pockets to say so, but I hope that that data that's being moved into regulatory repositories has been normalized, can be used by regulators to learn and sniff out which brokers are over-leveraging themselves, which brokers are creating a risk to this industry that we all want to perpetuate. And in one single point, there is an entity that gets everyone's data for free and I think is doing the least with it. And that's, I would love to see regulators step up and do more learning on top of that data, be more strict on the day-to-day basis to brokers who are making decisions and making them clear through that data, and we're not doing anything about it.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Do we have time for questions? Or?
Yeah, we'll take one question from the crowd. I will add before that, I thought that I had, listening to the discussion, I heard a lot about the future. I would be interested in hearing from you about the present. What currently brokers, fail to do? How do they not adopt your services, or rather alternatively, what brokers should do in order to maximize the automation services, because eventually I find their role significant as well. So if you have in mind cases where brokers or otherwise providers you work with haven't fully adopted or acted on the information, I think that would be beneficial for the audiences to learn how they can improve. With that in mind, I'll give the mic to Anna here.
It's Dr. Anna Becker, and unfortunately I'm a doctor in artificial intelligence, so it's very hard for me not to comment on this panel. And it sounded a little bit grim for me, because I do have at least two brokers that are kicking ass in artificial intelligence. They're creating extremely interesting predictive models using not only genetic algorithms, but everything they can mention in a book. And their prediction results are close to 95% on lifetime value and extremely good on conversion and the rest of the. So I agree that most of the brokers are very slow on automation. And I think the reason is the same as, for example, Salesforce. It's very hard for all the companies to move to automation on any subject, because it's basically changing all the processes. And what we see in our industry, that any level of automation within the organization is hard. So I would recommend brokers to start thinking about the fact that actually AI is here and brokers are successful with it. And unless you go and start working and bringing automation into your organization, it will not start happening to you. But again, AI is here and it's successful. And I think our industry is extremely great case for it, because we can talk about being better than humans, and it's very easy fact of personalization that was mentioned here. And I already again saw the ways where personalization using artificial intelligence and using big data and segmentation is working better than, and I see nodding heads here, working better than aggressive sales calls. So, and it's working on the conversion where you understand how to do that and so on. So let's not.
Yeah, where's the question?
Where's the question?
It was not the question, it
more
was
a
a comment.
than a
I
question.
apologize. Again, I was not able to control myself, because I think
Come see Dr. Becker on tomorrow's panel at 10:45 a.m. She'll be on another panel.
So we have a no and a yes coexistent in a way. If you have any comment about both my comment and Anna's one, you're most invited to share it with us.
I actually think that the main blocker for adopting automation is the fear of losing control, and that's what's stopping brokers from actually opting in and fully and going all into the process, because it goes into your core, and like Anna said, it changes your entire work process, right? So once they just start trusting the system and actually committing to it, I think we'll see a whole different ecosystem.
In terms of where brokers are failing to adopt these.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was one of the points I had. I'm glad Jonathan brought it up, because we weren't able to get to it with so many people on the panel, but I'm sure all of you have to add to this. Where are brokers failing? What is the most important?
A quick observation, because I know we're short on time. I think what I see is brokers sometimes are too busy with the short-term tasks, and sometimes they don't look too far ahead. And I think you need to hire people for a long-term time. We see that we start working with people and they quit after 6 months. So there is a problem with contingency. And I think if you want to have a good technology, you need to have a long-term process of implementation and optimization. You need to hire the right people who will be able to manage it for a long term. And this is something that has to do with the culture and the nature of running a brokerage.
The fear of change, basically.
Everyone's
I
afraid
think
of change.
that there is too much change.
So there is
People-
turnout, there
there-
is fear of change.
There's a lot of turnover
else?
of employees.
I would just say one word,
In
react.
catchphrase, if not too difficult.
To Jonathan's point of today, right now, you're behind if the systems you're using to identify and manage risk are giving you an alert but not reacting to it. I do think artificial intelligence has a place. I do think there's a lot more automation to come. Today, right now, contemporary, when you're looking around for new systems for your brokerage, is the system alerting you to a problem, or is the system allowing you to assign a reactive action to that problem? That's the transition I see the industry at today.
By the way, both are beneficial.
Yes.
I mean, they both have their specific advantages.
Okay, thank you very much. It's nice to see that the human factor prevails even in this sort of discussion. Thank you very much for our panelists. Don't go anywhere, because soon enough we will commence our liquidity roundtable. So take a few minutes and we will be right here. Thank you very much.